and have no fear.
Wake up.
Wake up!
Wake up!
Get up
You get out of bed this instant.
and turn it on. Glenn, Angel, and the Flying Dutchman. The Big Show on Kiss 92.
Good morning, Singapore. Welcome to the biggest and best breakfast show here in Singapore. Our guest for this morning is award-winning psychologist Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Jerry, and you're going to be talking about one of our favorite topics. Toxic people, because we all have
I
them.
know.
Toxicity.
I gave Sean an option, right? Did he want to do what was it that I gave you? Fairy tale or toxic people? Because
Fairy tale?
Fairy tale?
Yeah, with the coronation, with Frozen. No, not just that. But also, what has psychology got to do with fairy tales? And toxic people. Sean chose toxic people. So we're going for toxic people. He's
Sean
not the
chose
only one,
toxic
by the
people.
way.
You didn't ask us, Sean. You know what I would have chosen?
Toxic
Toxic
people.
people.
Yes,
Toxic people, yeah, exactly.
Well done, Shawnee.
Exactly.
Good job,
I mean,
good job.
I think it's something that we all live with, no matter whether we like it or not. We have some toxic people in our lives.
True. And he's not the only one, as I was saying. There's so many people. I'm not sure why. Over the week, people were saying, can you do something about toxic people? I was like, why? What's happening?
There's so many
You know,
toxic
it
people
could
around.
be-
That's why. We can't kill them. So we're trying to find out ways to get them out of our lives without harming them.
But let's start with who they are
Yeah,
first.
who are
who
these
are
toxic
toxic people?
That's the
How do we
question.
qualify
So
them?
I've got, let me see, how many do I have? I've got 7 deadly toxic people.
Wow.
So let's see if you can identify with some of them. So the first one I have is the arrogant one. I know everything. I'm better than everyone else. And whatever that they say or they are trying to convey, they're the best.
Everything is,
You just
they
have
are
to
right about
sit
everything.
there.
But it's true. Sometimes if you're the best, you're the best.
Oh, there you go.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Toxic person number one.
There we
Oh,
go.
no. Sorry. I take that back.
Don't we all know
I take
why?
that back. Okay, next.
The second type is who I call the liars.
Oh.
So they gaslight everybody, or you might find them at the workplace. So for some of the listeners, they might actually hear them or see them or even experience them in the workplaces. So they may not have done something, they may have done something wrong, and they lie about it without batting an eyelid and get someone else into trouble. So those
Okay.
are the liars.
You know how the term
And then-
gaslight came about, right?
From a movie.
Huh?
It was from a movie.
No. Someone farted and then after that, they just lit the gas and
Glenn, it was a stunt I did on a TV show once. You don't have to bring it up again.
that is true. Okay, sorry. Go on.
And the third kind?
The third one is who I call the greedy. So they're greedy for everything. They're greedy for attention. They're greedy for titles. They're greedy for friends. They're greedy for just basically everything.
Everything.
So when they come into your space, they try and grab everything that is yours also.
Oh.
Theirs and everyone else's, right? So
Okay.
they are the ones that not steal. I don't know whether they purposefully do it or not. They steal the limelight. They steal your friends. They steal basically things that are around you, and you don't.
But
want these
sometimes
sort
it's
of people-
natural. I mean, if you have that kind of gravitas, well, anyway.
Okay, Glenn,
let's.
you've already ticked off 2 on the list.
I know,
Careful,
yeah.
Oh, sorry, I take that back again. Okay, let's go on the Big Show TV and discuss these 3 points, and then later when we go back
Yep.
on the radio, we'll highlight 4 more.
Yes, that's
okay?
right.
Okay, cool.
All right,
Okay.
it is Tuesday, the 9th of May.
Kiss 92 Date Check brought to you by Gain City Megastore at Sungai Kadut's 8th.
Okay, so let's discuss the first 3.
So we have the arrogant, the liars, and the greedy.
Hey, greedy.
So the arrogance are the ones that are like, I am the best. I do everything right. I'm on top of everyone else. The liars are those that just they can do something wrong, they have seen something, but they just lie about it, getting someone else into trouble or trying to protect themselves. And the greedy is they want the limelight, they want your friends, they want basically everything.
Okay.
So they will stop at nothing.
Okay, so now let's go to point number 1.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about point number 2 and point number 3 here
Okay.
on the Big Show TV. Okay.
Okay.
So the first point, what's so bad about that? It's much better for someone to have an ego, a hyped up sense of confidence rather than someone with no confidence at all.
No, it's about drawing the line. If you are so arrogant, you're so hyped up, and you're so into yourself and in your face, you don't realize the effect you have on other people.
Yeah, but then, I mean, look, a lot of people, right, they suffer because they have low self-esteem. So don't you think that at the end of the day, what we're talking about here is individually, right? Everyone has to take care of themselves. You know, there's some people who in order for them to feel, a sense of positivity in terms of themselves, their self-esteem and all that, they need to hype it up. They need to psych themselves up.
But arrogance,
So who are we?
Arrogance
and confidence is very
it's very
different. though.
different, you know?
It's very different.
I tend to think that people who are arrogant, the way we're describing arrogance right now, are people who are not confident. They cover
Yes,
up that lack
yeah.
of confidence.
Yeah, but I mean,
with
let's take one of my
Overcompensating.
heroes, right? One of my heroes, Donald Trump. So you see,
He's arrogant.
he became the president of the United States of America.
Only
If he
because they had
wasn't-
nobody to challenge
If
him.
he wasn't crazy arrogant and proud, he wouldn't be.
No.
I don't know. I feel like he may also suffer from some sort of self-esteem complex
Yeah.
because he's trying to overcompensate for
Yeah,
clearly,
but
clearly
he
everything that he doesn't
became
have.
the president of the United States of America.
Fair
so
enough. Doesn't
so
mean
he
he
goes
doesn't have
down in
complexes.
history. He has a legacy. I mean, isn't that better than someone who?
Disappears in the wall. No, but
Yeah.
I mean, just because he was president of the United States doesn't make him the best person in the world.
And just because
you
he's
know?
president doesn't mean he left
You
a
say that
legacy.
because none of us are related to him.
No,
but if he was a family member, you go like,
I
hey,
would cancel him out of my life.
no, I don't think so. Right now, Jerry. I mean, you see a
But
lot of
we are
people with.
talking about deadly toxic people
Yeah.
causing
Deadly.
harm to others. So when we look at this sort of toxicity, it hurts other people. It doesn't matter what title you hold, where you are. So it doesn't matter what how far you are up on the ladder or how low you are. You can still be toxic.
Yeah.
I just feel like sometimes being toxic is not such a bad thing.
No,
Anyway,
okay, let's move on to
Yeah,
point number two.
Point number 2.
Liars.
Liars.
Gas-
Liar.
gaslight-
Liar.
Gaslighters.
Gaslighters.
So those
First, we
that-
define gaslighting.
My gas has run out at home, by the way. Please remind me I need to order a gas cylinder. No, seriously. Because I was just
Whoa.
I was just saying gas lighters, and I'm like, oh, that's right, my gas has run out.
You know-
Go with piped in gas.
No, wait, we got to keep on topic because now we're talking about gaslighters. People are saying, I've got gas, I'm feeling bloated. That's not what we're talking
no.
about.
But
Oh, come on.
gaslighters do talk through their asses,
Yeah,
right?
this is true. This is true.
Okay, go on.
They create a story that is not there, and then they impose it onto someone, and the person feels a lot. So whoever that's on the receiving end feels a lot of injustice, and no matter how the victim goes, but this didn't happen. The gaslighter or the liar would just not bat an eyelid and just insist that it happened. So after a long period of time, you start to doubt yourself,
Yes.
and you start to feel small. You start to feel like you are, there's something wrong with you when there is actually nothing wrong with you. So these toxic people kind of eat you up slowly. It's like a bad chemical that bleeds into every facet,
I love
Yeah.
working with these toxic people. Oh, sorry, I'm not saying you guys are toxic. I love working with toxic people because it'll make me raise my game.
Oh, okay. Anyway, okay, so that's number
Okay,
two.
there you go. She just ignored me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Number
Okay.
three.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The greedy people, the greedy people who just don't have enough of everything. So they come in and they start talking, they steal your limelight, they steal your friends, they steal different things that are perhaps of value to you, and you feel very uncomfortable. It's not that you don't want to share the attention or the limelight, but they consume everything.
Everything.
They come into your space and they take over.
It's almost like you can't breathe around them.
No lah.
This.
No, I know exactly what Jerry's talking about. It's almost like you can't breathe around them.
But I've seen you. I've seen you in a room full of people.
It's
You kind of take over. I
Well,
am the
that's
Flying Dutchman.
Glenn, you
That's
don't seem
because
to be
they-
getting anything about
Oh,
this
sorry.
topic at
Yeah,
all.
at
My
all.
goodness.
Okay.
Jerry.
Oh,
Jerry,
wow.
we have a question on our Facebook page, and I think it's
Hang
an
on.
interesting one. When we come back,
Yeah.
I'll ask you that question. Yeah.
And then we'll move on to 4, 5, and
Yeah.
6.
FD likes attention. I know he likes attention. He doesn't get attention, that's it. Then you'll go like,
You're gaslighting him
I
right
hate
now,
this
you know?
event.
You-
I'm leaving it now. Okay, sorry. Okay.
What is wrong with you
I
today?
won't say
Oh my
that
gosh.
on air.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the SLE towards the CTE after the BKE entrance, avoid lane 3. An accident has been reported. Same situation on the AYE towards Tuas. Right after the Tuas Road exit, avoid lane 3 again. Another accident. If you spot anything else, it's 8855-0920.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. It's Glenn Angel and the Flying Dutchman. Our guest for this morning is Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room. I just want to tell everyone I'm feeling good.
Yeah,
Boy, you don't say.
I have recovered.
He
you know,
is. I feel like he's eaten some horse flesh or something. Something weird's going
I
on
went
with
for
him
a
today.
run yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
And?
And I felt good. You know, after COVID, right? I
And
just felt
influenza
so
A?
weak. Yeah. So weak. But now I've gotten my strength
Oh,
back.
good.
I
And
just,
That's always
stamina.
good.
I just want to know what
We,
greens
we
you've been
did see
eating.
that.
Yeah. So you played golf and you went for a run.
I went, yes.
Oh my goodness!
Lord.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, today I'm
so-
going to do 3 things.
Yeah.
Today I've got golf lesson.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go home. I'm going to go on my spin bike.
Okay.
And then I'm going to run.
Oh,
as well.
slow down, Chucky, because at the end of it, tomorrow you're gonna come. I'm aching. I think I'm not
No,
feeling
today
so great.
my back is aching
Okay.
a little bit. Only,
All right. Okay. Okay. We
I
have
want to
got-
get back to this
Yeah.
question we
Anyway,
had on
this damn
Facebook.
COVID. If you've just had COVID and you're feeling like, under, and all, don't worry. You'll feel good again very soon.
Okay, Glenn, are you done talking?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
we
what
need to
happened?
get back to Dr. Jerry because we need to cover the topics
Yeah.
that she wants to talk about toxic people.
Yeah,
Okay,
so we
okay.
were talking about the arrogant people, the liars, and the greedy.
The greedy, yes.
Here's a question about arrogant people, and I've never heard this one put forward before. Shingo, for the arrogance, how about parents who always think they know what's best for their children? They then determine everything from their children, from their careers to their life partners. Can they be considered as toxic?
That's toxic. It belongs to another category called the control freak. So that's another one. So parents may not be arrogant, but they may be control freaks. So
freaks.
they want to control every single thing. You might see colleagues like that, parents like that, teachers like that, bosses like that, where they micromanage
Yeah.
to each and every detail because yes, maybe they think they know better, but more than knowing better, they don't want anything to go wrong. So they want to control each and everything. And that feels very stifling for the people around them.
Yeah, and the parents have every right to do that because they brought you into this world. So So,
I'm
you know,
sorry,
if you're
I
a
don't.
parent and you're a control freak over your children,
No.
don't feel ashamed of that. You have every right.
I'm a parent
If-
and I'll tell you, you don't have that right.
You are funny, lah. You get your kids to kiss their boyfriends in front of you and all
Oh,
that.
so what's wrong with that?
No,
Oh.
cannot. I will not be a parent like that.
Yeah, but you're
you
not
want
a parent,
You
so-
go,
okay.
You go and do it in a corner somewhere. But what I'm trying to say here is that parents have the right, to be. To have this say, to be control freaks over their kids, but I mean, if their kid has anything that they want to what do you call say, then they should have a nice conversation with their parents.
No control.
And justify it.
No control freak will allow you to do that.
You know, it seems like Glenn's just been let out of some cage or something.
What?
The
Yeah.
COVID cage. All of a sudden, he's like so like full of
I say
all of energy.
parents
and
have
all
every
this.
right.
Yeah, he's full of it. You're right. He's
Back
full of
to
it.
his naughty kid.
So
Yeah,
back
sorry.
to his naughty child syndrome. Okay, wait.
Go
We
ahead.
only covered 1, 2, and 3. What's the 4th, 5th, 6th,
The
and
fourth
7th?
one
Just
is
so we know.
control freak.
Okay.
Yeah, the control freak, the jealous. So they are very judgy. They would point at every single thing and go like, this is not right. And they are full of envy. So it would feel very embarrassing to be in their presence. You feel very judged to be in their presence. So that's the jealous. And then there's the who I call the soap opera.
So the
So there's a lot
drama.
of drama
Right.
around them. There's always something that is going on, a crisis to be dealt with, and you can't seem to catch up because you're constantly helping them to deal with things, fix things, and it's just never enough. There's something else that's coming up that they go, oh my gosh, and you go, oh my God, what happened this time now?
Everything is
and
an
then-
emergency, right? Everything is a must do it now because it's do or die or it's life or death and then it's
Yeah,
not.
yeah, and it's not only do or die. It's always like something is going on.
Yeah.
So it's literally like a drama serial that is going ongoing for years and years and years. And the last type would be who I call the heavy-footed. Everything is dark, it's dreary. They just come with that hunched back and that
yeah.
literally heavy foot, right? They just plod along, and you're trying to lift them up, you're trying to bring them out, you're trying to talk to them, but it is just dark, gloomy. Yeah,
I don't get the last
And
one.
negative. It's just somebody who's
Yeah, really
always
negative
negative.
person.
Someone who's always very negative. You have those people that's like,
You know why they're
"Oh,
negative? Because they're not arrogant.
Arrogant
They
and
don't have
they're not control freaks,
Yeah, they
they're
don't
not-
have self-esteem. That's why.
Okay, we'll go on the Big Show and the Big Show. Then we'll go on the Big Show TV to continue this conversation.
Okay, I'm all for expressing yourself.
Yes,
Boy,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
we
In
know
the
that
words
today.
of Madonna, express
Oh.
yourself. Okay, it is 8:17.
Kiss 92 Time Check brought to you by Putian. Fresh, crisp, and tender.
Okay,
Okay,
Glenn, for
Jerry.
one moment. Shh.
Jerry,
Forgot to take
so we
his
have these
coffee.
toxic. Yeah, I know. I think he's had too much coffee. Either that or he's added something to the coffee.
I think there's something in your drink
yeah.
today,
I finished it. I'm
Jerry.
going to get coffee. Y'all
Okay,
talk.
go,
Yeah,
go.
Jerry, with these toxic people, who needs the help? The people who have to deal with the toxic people, or the toxic?
The people who have to deal with, I say, because people don't change that quickly, I feel. Especially for
So
toxic people.
who would go and see you, for example, the person dealing with the toxic person or the toxic people?
Well, if the toxic person has insight or has enough empathy to realize I'm causing something or some hurt to someone, they would come forward. And I have had families come in. So family session with the parent coming in and saying that I think I caused hurt to my child. So the child who is also seeing the psychiatrist and the psychologist is able to say, yes, you've done this, and we work together collaboratively to deal with the issue. It's really nice to see.
Yeah, I'm sure this is what I was thinking, because it's almost like marriage counseling where a husband and wife go to someone to talk it out. Here, if I am the person suffering because of a toxic person, and I can convince them to come with me to the session, the problem gets solved on both ends.
And it's kind of like, it's almost like a mediation, is it? A little bit? Sounds like
It's creating awareness, it's creating change in the person. So mediation is, let's moderate and everything, but it's not quite moderation in therapy. It's is helping them to create a change for the better.
Creating an awareness first and then a change, right?
Because you give them you offer them the space to be able to speak about it, and both sides know where the other person is coming from, and they may not, like you said, creating awareness, because they may not know that they're doing that.
Yeah, so even in offices, so some organizations, they have what we call EAP program, Employee Assistance Program. We do that too. So we do conflict management in the workplace. So it can be with a manager and one of the team members. It can be between team members. So we do that because we do see this toxic behavior in a very intimate space or relationships.
I think this toxic behavior is very subjective. I think everyone should learn how to be hyper competitive. That way, everyone will be strong.
Does that fall under any category here? Hyper competitive, in any of your 7?
Yeah, Jerry, you as a
people?
psychologist, you should teach everyone to be super competitive.
No.
You can be competitive. Competitive is bettering yourself, just like how you play golf, right? So you have a goal and you better your goal, but it's your goal. It is not to hurt someone
Anybody else.
And the other day I threw one putter in the water.
Yeah, but you're not hurting. But you're not hurting anyone else.
I'm down to 24 putters.
Did you hurt a monitor lizard?
It may have hit a fish or something like that.
No, see, so you are toxic then. You are toxic. The fish has feelings,
I don't know. I'm just saying. It might have hit something.
Oh dear. Okay, I will call Acres the next
But it's
time you
okay,
go play
right?
golf.
It's not like for people who express themselves like that, it's just to vent
What?
the frustration.
Throwing a putter?
No, maybe
Because
just kicking something.
No, because I feel like kicking something could turn out to be kicking someone in the end. I don't know.
If I kick someone, it'll just be a push kick.
Oh gosh. Okay, Dr. Jerry, please intervene.
Well, Jerry, I've got something that has just dawned on me.
Yes.
With violence, sometimes people make excuses for the violence that happens to them in a violent relationship, right?
Okay, hold on. We'll go on air and you ask Jerry that. Okay? I was about to throw something at you.
It just went up as I was talking.
Sorry
I
about
saw it, no?
Okay.
Kiss 92 Traffic.
On the SLE towards the CTE after the BKE entrance, avoid lane 3. An accident has occurred. An accident might happen in the studio here as well
very
between
soon.
Glenn and the Flying Dutchman.
No.
If you want to watch all the action, remember to come onto our YouTube and Facebook channel /Kiss92FM.
All right, welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Coming up very soon, we'll be joined by our senior transport correspondent from the Straits Times, Nian Tjoe.
Yes.
But right now, we are talking to Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room.
Yes,
Good morning,
and we're all
Jerry.
having to deal with toxicity, Glenn.
Good morning.
There.
Toxic Glenn.
Only
Toxic
kidding,
Glenn.
only kidding. I've worked with you for too many years.
Therapized before you hurt Nian Tjoe later, okay?
Oh,
No.
But Jerry, I want to ask this because it just dawned on me. So, in a physically abusive relationship, many times the person being abused makes excuses for the abuser.
Yeah.
Does that happen in toxic relationships as well?
You can, after a long period of time, after being devalued, being doubted, having to fix things, you start to feel bad about yourself. But because it is not quite an abusive relationship, there's still that boundary there, you see. So you're still able to step back and go like, I don't like this. Why am I getting myself into this? So that tends to be the narrative of the
But
other person.
do these people ever make excuses for the toxic person?
I'm sure.
Sure, definitely. You know, he has a bad day, he's just like that, is his personality, and especially if it's a friend, you say, oh, but this person is like that all the time, just and we dismiss the behavior. So oftentimes with toxic people, we tend to dismiss the behavior.
Yeah, that's where I draw the line. That's where I say, if someone is being abused,
Yeah.
physically or emotionally or whatever,
Or mentally,
someone
yeah.
who
Or
is
mentally,
strong,
yeah.
taking it out on someone who is
Not as
helpless.
Yeah.
You know,
But-
that's bad.
That's why I wanted to ask. Toxicity is almost bordering on abuse, right? Because it is over a longer period of time where, say, the arrogant or the gaslighter or the control freak or the jealous eats into the people around them, and eventually they. I mean, I feel it's a form of abuse, but over a longer period of time.
Well, the toxic personality, their personality is toxic. So it is their issue and not
Oh,
our
right.
issue. So we can actually step away from it. So there's a bit more distance. Where you talk about an abusive relationship, it tends to be a bit more intimate. It tends to be closer. We find it more difficult to step away from the relationship.
But if you're a toxic partner or a toxic parent or a toxic wife,
Yeah.
husband,
Then
then
Toxic
it becomes
partner.
abusive, right?
Yes, and it can morph into something more sinister. It can be more abusive in that sense. And what if some of these toxic personalities have clinical disorders? Clinical disorders like narcissistic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, morbid jealousy disorder. Then that they have completely no insight.
Does Glenn have narcissistic disorder? Oh, you haven't. He hasn't
No,
been on
he's
your
just
couch
a
You
yet.
let me
naughty
sit on your
boy.
couch, then you know.
I think they developed a word for him.
What is that?
They developed a word
The
for
word
him.
for him, right?
Hey, Jerry, next week, how about we talk about toxic relationships?
Yeah, because this
Yeah.
one was more an outsider, right? Like a colleague or a friend.
Yeah, but what if
I
you're in
think
a
something
relationship?
internal, like a
Like
relationship
between
or a
husband and
parent.
wife,
Yeah,
or
for sure.
boyfriend, girlfriend.
Parents to children as well can be toxic.
Yeah.
No need, lah.
No need.
The
Oh,
parents
just-
have every right to,
I-
to abuse their children.
It's very interesting.
I mean, no.
Okay,
Not
yeah,
abuse
no.
their children, but basically,
Did you just
put
say
them
that?
in their places.
Okay.
No, because it's very interesting. Jerry gave us 7 different types today, and
Yeah.
I've been taking note. I've had to deal with 4 of them.
Wow. Okay.
Different times in my life, but I've had to deal with 4 of them.
Who asked you to have so many children?
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with my children. For
one
God's
each.
sakes. You're horrible, you are. You're horrible.
Okay, Jerry, we'll continue to talk
Toxic
about
people.
toxic people next
next
week.
week.
Sure. And I'm not sure if you're caught the Netflix, The Light We Carry, Oprah Winfrey and Michelle Obama. So there's one part that Oprah Winfrey asked Michelle Obama, did all your friends make the cut once you went to the White House? Obama answer was lost oxygen, couldn't make the climb. No, they did not, she replies. And Michelle Obama says, here's the thing that I've learned. Stay open to friends, but when they show you who they are, you got to believe them and then move on.
Yeah.
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 I
Good
just
one.
want to say, I think Oprah and Michelle Obama are the 2 most fake people on the face of this planet.
Wow.
Michelle
okay.
is amazing. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Just my
Topic
opinion.
for another day.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Jerry.
I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
See you later, alligator.
Bye.
All right, up next, Nian Tjoe, senior transport correspondent from the Straits Times, and we'll be talking about COEs once again. It is Tuesday, the 9th of May.
Kiss 92 Date Check brought to you by Gain City Megastore at Sungai Kadut's 8th anniversary.
Okay, we have Nian Tjoe in the studio. We're just going to switch the camera.
Yeah.
There he
Nian
is.
Tjoe in the house.
Good morning,
Good
good
morning.
morning. How's it going? COE again?
Yeah.
What
It
is
was a
happening?
Busy day yesterday.
Yeah, it was.
Because it was a long discussion over this topic of COEs. So
Minister was involved yesterday.
of course, it's
Yes.
environment. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had to. I think we had like seven or eight questions just targeted on this topic. So it took an hour long of Q&A.
Okay.
Bouncing, like everybody had an idea how to solve the COE problem. Yeah, by that we mean that COE is too high, too expensive for most of us.
Any good ideas out there?
You guys agreed with the minister or not?
That there is a problem.
I mean, based on his answers, I mean, we weren't there. But
Overall, the big announcement from yesterday, I mean, there was one announcement. Rest of it were a lot of suggestions. The announcement was there will be more COE released into the system.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a really technical thing, but basically what we know is that over the next couple of quarters,
Yep.
right, every 3-month period, we're gonna get a couple more COEs. So
How
the
many
idea
are there
is-
now?
So each time, I mean, the number varies because the fundamental concept is this: when a vehicle like Glenn's one, when he's done with it, it's scrapped.
Yeah.
So then you release one COE.
COE.
You know,
Right.
every time a car dies, a COE
Gets reborn.
released. So
exactly.
car dies, the COE goes to heaven.
It's like rebirth.
Yeah, and then it comes back. It comes back as a new COE.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
So this is the basic concept you need to have.
Yeah.
So that's why the number varies, because every period where they used to reference the number of COEs, the number of cars that get deregistered varies.
So if there are lots of older cars, there'll be lots of
Yeah,
COE
as they
that'll
come
be
off
coming on.
age lah, yeah. So basically, what we have is that we've one of the biggest reason why COE premium has been the record high for the past year and then some is that the supply of COE is so low.
Okay, so less cars being scrapped.
Less cars, yeah.
Right.
Overall, it's not just cars, bikes, trucks, buses, everything.
Is it because people are holding on to their older vehicles for longer, or I mean,
This is
cars need to die, right?
after 10 years.
10 years. Well, then they can renew it as well.
Yeah, there are
but
those that
maximum
are-
of 20. Is it?
No,
Is there a maximum?
for cars you could
Keep going at 10.
revalidate, yeah, continuously as long as you extend them by 10 each
If
time.
you extend by 5, that's your last 5,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but most
Yeah.
people will scrap their cars after 10 years.
It's hard to say. I mean, I think in this where COE is so expensive, you're gonna have like if I have a car that is almost there, and you weigh up your options. You either stump up the COE,
Yeah.
or you stump up the cost of a new COE and
and
a
a
new
car.
car. So the financial burden is pretty hefty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there still the option of renewing a COE for 5 years?
Yes, but that's your last
But
go.
that's your last goal.
Your
You see,
last
after
goal.
that, you've got to scrap your car.
You
Right.
can't renew it
So
again.
actually, that 5 year, because it's the last goal, it's also the way we see it is that this is the definite the blower valve, because you're gonna have for sure you're gonna have COEs that are coming back to the system.
So from that judgment of how many 5-year
Yes.
ones there are, you'll know in 5 years you'll have that number at least.
Yeah, maximum 5 years.
Max.
Maybe on the after extending and then oops, you have a
Yeah,
back
yeah.
accident, you lose the car, the COE is free.
Yeah, yeah.
So in that on that front, that's exactly what the ministry is doing now. So from next week's COE bidding, they're gonna claw some of these that will otherwise be due in the next 5 years.
Oh,
that means
right,
the
okay.
confirmed case that you're going to be released.
Yeah.
They're gonna start giving a little bit added to our current.
So we're borrowing
period.
from the future.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah,
Except
kind of.
it's it's a sure thing because by design on the
they have
15th
to
day
go,
it has
yeah.
to come back. Yeah.
Very interesting. Let's talk about this on air.
Kiss 92 traffic.
If you're on the BKE heading towards the PIE right after the Mandai Road exit, look out for an accident vehicle. It's taking up space in the first lane. If you have anything else, WhatsApp us at 88550920.
See, if there are no cars on the roads, you won't have to do traffic
This
reports.
is true. This is true.
Anyway, our guest for this morning, our second guest for this morning is the senior transport correspondent at the Straits Times, Nian Tjoe. Good morning, Nian Tjoe.
Good morning, everybody.
And today we're talking about COEs. There are going to be more COEs released.
Yes.
Explain that a little bit to us. How does it work?
Overall, we've been suffering. Shall we say, suffering. The price of COE has been going very high. It's been going up for the past year or so. And that with that comes with the cost of vehicles becoming more expensive. So that was a big hot topic. That is the big hot topic for the past couple of months. So what was announced is that coming from the next tender onwards, we're going to get more COEs being injected into the supply. So we're trying to fix on the supply side to give more COEs to the market.
So it will come down, hopefully.
Hopefully.
That's the theory.
Yeah. Those of us who be on the fringe going like, this is too
That's
expensive.
bound
Now I'm
to
go-
come down.
This
Yeah.
is my chance.
Yeah, I want to change my car. Then I asked, so how much is it? This new car that I wanted to get? $410,000. I'm like, okay. I think
With
I'll
or
just-
without the
Does it come with
COE?
an attached
Everything in.
bathroom?
Oh,
Yeah,
everything.
well,
Does it serve you coffee, right? That's the most
And
important.
what, a quarter of that is the COE?
Yeah, about
At
that.
least.
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Sorry.
So will the prices come down?
Wow. That's a question.
Perennial question.
Yeah, but we do know that there will be a little bit more COE because these COEs are, in a sense, I mean, just now we're just saying, kind of like borrowing from the future. So there's a design in the COE system where those of us who own vehicles before or still do is that if you were to extend it beyond that 10th year, you extend by 5, then that's the last extension you can have, the last time you can revalidate.
Yeah.
So the COEs that are entering that 15th or 20th,
Phase,
25th
yeah.
and all that would then have to come back into the system. And this is where these so-called extra COEs are coming from. They're not extras.
They're not, right? They've been there all the time.
They're
They
actually
will-
part of the system.
Yes, yeah, because ultimately the system works like this in the current scheme, which is a COE that is attached to a car now, used for the car. When it's due, the car is scrapped,
Yeah.
and this COE is released.
Yeah.
And recycled as a
Yeah.
new COE. So this is where we're at. That's why I guess the measure that's introduced is just trying to alleviate this problem of having the supply of COE being so tight.
So they're going to release it before those cars hit that 15 or that 25th? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it's marked.
Okay,
Right.
but
It's marked,
yeah,
yeah.
okay.
And
okay.
and hence we spoke about borrowing from,
Borrowing from the future,
But
yeah.
this will bring the prices of COE down, right?
Yes,
Technically,
it will.
it should.
It should. But what my question is, does that mean when we reach that 5-year mark, they spike again? Because I have no more COEs from that category.
So this is actually it gets pretty technical in that it's already been forecasted because 10 years ago, say there were 10 COEs. 10 years later, most of these COEs are going to be released, right? Some
Yeah.
will be extended, but some will be released. So there's actually, we've already done calculations and everybody has done it, is that we know that in the next 2-3 years, there will be more COEs that will naturally be coming back in. Just because that 10 years ago, there were more COEs to start with.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So this fundamentally, we're discussing the point of we're not while the result that we want, at least as consumers, is that the prices come down. The intention of the measure is really, we're told, to stop these big spikes and trials, right?
Yeah.
Trying to smoothen out the curve so
Yeah.
it's less painful, less shocking to everyone.
Yeah. So flatten the curve of the COE. There
Man,
you
this
go.
must be a headache for Iswaran.
Iswaran, yeah, I'm sure.
I think we
It's
need
not
to invite him
easy.
on the show already.
I think so.
It's
I
high
think we
time.
need to get him.
Yeah, we
need to
did
get
a
him here
virtual
too.
thing with Minister Iswaran during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And
Now he needs to come in.
I
Yeah.
think he needs to come in.
Yeah.
Maybe on a Tuesday, and then after that,
The COE.
Nian Tjoe can come in and join in the
Yeah.
conversation as
Yeah.
well. Why not?
For
That'll be
sure.
fun.
He's
That'll
a
be
cool
fun?
guy. One of
Okay.
the coolest ministers we
He's
know.
very cool.
Okay, if you're
Mr. S.
listening,
Iswaran.
Minister, take note. That is an open invitation.
Okay. Let's continue to talk to Nian Tjoe on the Big Show TV. Here's Avril Lavigne, What the Hell, on Kiss 92.
Okay. So you cannot say how many I know it's not extra because you're borrowing, but
Yeah.
you cannot say how much more it adds to.
There are actually figures
there
in the
are,
straight
at least in the
Times this morning,
immediate
yeah.
one.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
the
like
immediate one. Yeah.
next Wednesday,
Yeah.
when it closes, I checked and we have an extra 73 pieces.
73.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is for the small cars.
Okay.
And then 23 for the big cars.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So remember the numbers that are shared is also it's the quarterly figure. You need to cut it into monthly, and each month there are two.
Yeah.
tenders, yeah.
So 1,600 and above now is what? 118.
Yes.
118.
Crazy,
Yeah.
right?
It's the
But
numbers.
I think the question is not so much the 118. My take has always been the problem is that as the supply comes back, it should start to
Go
go
down.
down, right?
Yeah.
So it's not going to stay at 118 in
Yep.
2 years' time. So right off, if you sign off for a car today, you're going to have to suffer that loss, like it or not.
But these numbers that they're adding on are small.
Yeah,
yes.
it's tiny.
How much is it really going to affect the pricing?
That's if it comes down, because nobody ever thought that it would be $119 and $119,399. No one thought that. No one thought it
Well,
would hit that.
actually, just happened last week where no one thought that the motorcycle COE would it fell off the cliff.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It did.
So I think we can use that as a
Hopefully.
bit of a snapshot of what can happen. What happened immediately is that number one, everybody rushed in to buy motorbikes. So even if we were to say to answer your point about the numbers being very little, that excitement is going to drive people in.
Yes. Yeah.
And at the core, COEs is the whole COE tendering business is done by dealers. They are business people.
Yeah.
They have to also be cautious in terms of I can't overcommit, but I'm not going to undercommit and lose out. So we're going to play this game of like who moves first and who moves more, the magnitude. And fundamentally, I think it's about expectations.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the people who don't quite understand the whole COE thing and how people can actually make some money from it, could you just maybe just
I'm also finding out how to make money from it, then I can get a new job.
Wow.
But basically, it's you think about it, as COE is rising, so first and foremost, every vehicle that needs to be on the road that we can buy needs a COE.
Yeah.
That COE will give you the right entitlement
To be on the
use the
road.
vehicle for 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's a
before
piece of
road tax
paper,
and all that.
basically. Yeah.
No, not even that. You have to print your own.
Yeah.
That's true. It's true. It's online.
So for all the people who got their cars at lower COE prices and all that, if they were to sell their
Yes.
cars
Do they
right
make
now,
money?
So that is
They gain.
that's actually a great point, because as COE prices are going up,
Yeah.
new cars, like for like, will be more expensive.
So for motorbikes as well, because now it's really low. It's $5,000.
Yes. So
if
the
they buy
opposite
now
has
and-
happened. If you
right.
had bought the bike
Then you
2
would
years
have
ago,
lost.
man, you're in tears, because
Yeah.
potentially you'd be servicing a loan for a bike that's not worth so much anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. 20 seconds to traffic.
When we come back, there's a question on our Facebook page. They want your thoughts on something.
okay, this will be the last talk set on air. Here we go. Avril Lavigne, what the hell, right here on Kiss 92. All the great songs in one place. Our guest for this morning is Nian Tjoe, the senior transport correspondent at the Straits Times.
And we're talking about COEs once again.
Once again, and Mahesh has a question. What do you think about separate COE categories for second and third and fourth cars from the same household? So you're using the ABSD concept.
yeah.
So this was actually one of the suggestions or questions that was raised.
They
Okay.
said they wanted to break the categories down,
yeah.
right?
I mean, on the back of the announced change, the new measure, the one-time measure, is there were a lot of contributions from MPs going, how about this, how about that? So on this topic of cutting up the categories and say or slapping an ABSD, right? There's a kind of a mirror version of this, which is let's ballot. Let's ballot, like say maybe we have those of us with young children or elderly folks kind of like get a credit and you kind of ballot it, or you add weighting to it. The question, or rather the reply that was given by the minister in essence is this: how do you decide? The other thing on having multiple vehicles in the household, the statistics that was given is that in essence, in reality, very, very few households have multiple vehicles.
Yes.
So it means that if you were to, you can slap all you want. It's not going to like move the needle quite so much as well. It's not like, perhaps, I think it's less like what we notice or have been told in the property sector. So on that front, maybe this is not quite the right fix, at least from the minister's opinion. I tend to agree. When you ask my thoughts, I tend to agree because, I mean, the how many of us have a car?
Yep.
We already know that that's only in, I think it's 36% of households.
Oh, is it?
Right?
36% only now.
Have 36%.
Of total households in Singapore.
I see.
Have
Because Angel
cars.
gave up
So
her
that-
car. FD also gave up his car.
So another nugget that was given out was that the fact that actually these multiple car households have actually been shrinking as well.
So when you say multiple, you mean more than two?
Two,
or
two
more than
or
one?
more.
One and
More
one.
than one.
Yeah.
More than
Now
one.
having one is really quite a privilege if you are like a freshie, right? You go
It
in
is,
and
yeah,
get a
for
car.
sure.
To get a car, it's like you stump up a big sum.
Yeah.
It's a big commitment.
Yeah.
So then if you're talking about those with additional, they are really on the margins.
37 percent
Yeah,
of
I
households
Thought it
have
would
cars.
be more.
Yeah.
Where are all these
We have
1
many
million
households.
cars?
We have many households.
That's true.
Yeah. The other thing is, we chat about this
Car
before.
sharing as well.
Car sharing. There's so
Yeah.
many ways into getting a car now.
That's true.
yeah.
That's true.
So the property, the number of the volume of cars, the population of cars, aren't naturally the private car owner.
And you're talking all sorts of vehicles, that 37%, not just cars. You're talking
Cars.
motorbike. Oh, cars.
Just
oh, wow.
cars.
Okay, just cars. Okay.
Wow.
Interesting statistic.
Okay.
Very interesting.
As always, it's been a pleasure
Yeah.
speaking to you, Nian
Thank you
Tjoe.
so
Thank you
much.
very much for coming in, so early on Tuesday morning.
Tuesday.
But we look forward to seeing you again next week. Yes. All right, we've been speaking to senior transport correspondent from the Straits Times, Nian Tjoe. You tuned in to KISS 92.
Kiss 92 weather.
It's good.